Good evening, everybody. My name is Wolfgang, and welcome back to another crappy attempt at a fanfiction, the sequel to Total Drama Island. Because for whatever reason, people commented on that video. I don't judge. I made a second one. So first is our cast, introducing everybody who competed in the original season, like Jeff, Bridget, Trent, Gwen, Izzy, DJ, Heather, Lashana, Justin, Lindsay, Harold, Courtney, Owen, Beth, and Duncan in the order as best as I can. But I'm also introducing 3 new competitors, them being Noah, Eva, and Cody. Noah because he was actually important to the plot, Eva because I thought I could do something funny with her, and Cody because if I was going to add the other 2, he would make an even number. So first is the Grips, where we have Trent, Izzy, Justin, Lindsay, Beth, Owen, Bridget, Jeff, Noah. And then the Gaffers, where we have Gwen, DJ, Heather, Lashana, Harold, Duncan, Courtney, Cody, and Eva. And there are some important events that I'm going to try and take care of. So Noah tries to reassemble his alliance from last season. Last season is referring to Island, no duh. And tries to keep under the radar. And Justin is here trying to keep under the radar when forming his alliance due to how poorly he performed last season. And Harold forges an alliance with Cody, Eva, and DJ to try and get rid of Duncan and Courtney, because remember, they were the villains. Challenge 1, the Alien movie, and the Grips lose it. Here are the votes. Trent and Izzy, Bridget, Justin, Noah, Lindsay, Beth, Owen, Bridget, Justin, Jeff, Noah, and Noah, Justin. And the first person to go is Bridget. Her and Jeff were too busy loving each other, and Jeff got kicked off. But since Jeff was the more physical player between the two, he had the better physique, Bridget was going home first. Important events. Gwen and Trent are trying to keep a relationship despite the fact they're on separate teams. Justin is trying to use Lindsay and Beth to get Jeff over on his side. Heather joins Harold's alliance and is now attempting to take it over. And Duncan and Courtney scare Gwen and Lashana scare them into joining them so they can take down Harold. And Duncan starts to feel remorseful. So yeah, different villains. Also, I completely forget the Heather and Harold alliance timeline. My bad. Challenge 2, the movie maker, the Gaffers lose it, and the votes. Gwen, Cody, DJ, Heather, Courtney, Lashana, Cody, Harold, Duncan, Cody, Courtney, Cody, Duncan, and Eva, Courtney. And the loser is Cody, where he was a weak member of Harold's alliance and considered an easy out, but with Heather trying to take over, she had people vote for Courtney so that way the brains would be out of the competition. So I guess I didn't completely forget, but Cody, I like you, but it was mostly because of your dynamic with Sierra. Important events. Justin decides that Jeff is a lost cause, and due to Jeff being emotional despair, he wants to try and get him out. Gwen and Trent are starting to lose faith that they can keep a relationship going through the teams, but they aren't giving up hope yet. And Duncan can't shake his guilt and talks to Courtney about what to do. And Harold knows that he needs to protect Eva because she would be seen as a threat. Challenge 3, the beach movie, and the losers are the Grips. The votes: Trent, Izzy, Justin, Lindsay, Beth, Owen. All vote for Jeff, or Jeff votes for Trent, and Noah votes for Jeff. So guess what? His name was Jeff, but he's been eliminated. And because he was in emotional despair, and the team just couldn't find a use for him. So, bye-bye. Important events. Trent decided that it would be a little too hard to keep the relationship going, so they decided to wait till they'll merge, and both aren't very happy about it. And Duncan and Courtney... Not Duncan, Justin and Courtney see this all happening and decide that this would be the perfect time to try and seize control of their teams, and Noah's his alliance are trying to take down Justin's alliance, though they're struggling whether to vote for Lindsay or Beth. Challenge 3, the beach movie, where the loser is the Grips. Trent, Noah, Izzy, Lindsay, Justin, Lindsay, and Beth. Trent, Owen, Beth, and Noah, Beth. And the loser is Trent. Justin saw him and Gwen decide to try and not keep the relationship going until the team, so of course it leaves him emotional. So with a little self-sabotage of the team, it was a very easy way to get the leader vote off, and now Justin's going to attempt to take it over. Important event. Gwen is now left in emotional despair due to her leaving. Justin is trying to take over the team, though he is having problems due to Noah. Duncan attempts to apologize to Harold. Eva and DJ start to disagree, and due to Eva wanting to be more aggressive, while DJ wanted to be more of a pacifist. And Courtney's trying to manipulate Gwen so she can be the leader. Challenge 4, the prison movie, where the gaffers lose it. Votes. Gwen votes for herself. DJ votes for Eva. Heather votes for Gwen. Heather and Lashana vote for Gwen. Harold votes for Courtney. Duncan and Courtney vote for Gwen. And Eva votes for DJ. And the loser is Gwen. She was a little stressed out that she could not get more time with Trent and went on some manipulation with Courtney. She was convinced that it would stress her out too much to stay in the competition. Justin and Noah are still fighting to take control of the team, but Courtney has noticeably taken control of her team and decides that Eva would be a little too much to deal with later in the game. And Harold is not able to forgive Duncan yet, but knows that he's trying. And Duncan tries to convince Courtney to lighten up, but that doesn't lead to much good. Challenge 5, the medical movie. The gaffers lose again. The votes. DJ, Heather, Lashana, Harold, Duncan, and Courtney vote for Eva, and Eva votes for DJ. And Courtney had deemed Eva too much of a threat to continue, and since Courtney is not afraid of self-sabotage, she was given the boot and not allowed to continue. I was also going to say that her temper got too much for even Harold to take, but I forgot that. My bad. Like I said, I didn't say this earlier, but I probably should say it. I did not do as well as I did with Island towards the earlier half, but the later half it gets better, and I'm stammering on too much. Important events. Noah finally is able to take control of his team, but Justin decides to manipulate Owen to vote for Noah next time they lose. Izzy and Owen are now the strongest couple. Courtney and Duncan start fighting due to Duncan wanting to be more gentle, and Courtney wants to stay more aggressive like she was last season, and Harold and DJ stick together and are trying to stay under the radar. And Challenge 6, the horror movie. The votes. Izzy, Lindsay, Justin, Beth. Oh, wait, hold up. Ah! Oh, yeah. Justin decides to manipulate Owen to vote for Noah the next time they lose. I guess I should have probably done better with that, but wow. I should probably do a retake, but I don't feel like it. Challenge 6, votes. Lindsay, Izzy, Justin, Lindsay, Izzy, Lindsay, Justin, Lindsay, Beth, Owen, vote Noah, and Noah votes Lindsay. I really need to keep this thing more stable. I am super sorry. And eliminated is Noah. Justin wanted to go, especially since he got to be the leader of the team, and also Justin had manipulated Owen to get him off. Important events. Owen and Izzy are going through an argument due to him being manipulated by Justin to vote off their friend. Justin is also realizing that he's losing to keep the loyalty of Beth and Lindsay, and he's doing everything he can to keep them under control. Courtney and Duncan are talking things out, although not completely sorted out. They are still a thing and decide to eliminate DJ next. And the loser is the gaffers, where the votes DJ, Courtney, Heather, Lashana, DJ, Harold, Courtney, Duncan and Courtney, DJ, and guess who's eliminated yet again during the teams? DJ. Courtney was not liking of how much of a pacifist that DJ was, so he was given the boot from the show. Important events. Owen and Izzy are starting to patch things up and are now Now, if Justin is a big target, Justin gets Beth and Lindsay's loyalty and convinces them to vote for Izzy next, and Heather and Lashana are becoming friends and getting tired of Courtney's bossiness. I don't know how to spell, so please tell me if that's wrong. Challenge 8, the war movie, and just like oh, not the war movie. This is the disaster movie, and he still gets injured. He gets injured in the war movie with his jaw again, but this time it leads to him being eliminated, and this is not going to do as well as Island. And it's the merge. We finally are here. First off, important events. Izzy starting to lose her mind due to being alone in the competition. Harold confesses to Lashana, and she accepts. So now they're a thing, because I actually liked that pairing. Courtney and Duncan stick together and pick off Izzy due to her being insane, and Heather tries to team up with Justin, but she only is doing it to get him kicked off. In the spy movie challenge, Courtney wins it just like last time, and Beth, Lindsay, Izzy, Justin, Courtney, Lashana, Heather, Justin, Duncan, and Harold all vote for Izzy, so Izzy is eliminated, and her sanity considered her to be a threat to their sanity, to be a threat to theirs, and she was kicked off. Keep in mind that she was up to Island, and now she's up to World Tour Insanity. Important events. Justin, seeing that Lashana and Heather are free and not affiliated, tries to alliance and manipulate them. And this is what I mean by forgot that Heather was already in there. Harold offers Heather and Lashana and find his alliance, and they can take it, though Heather thinks she can control it, and Lashana and Harold are already a thing. Also, Heather was already a part of it and still trying to take control of both. So, whoops. Challenge 10, the murder mystery movie, where unlike last time, Harold should have won it. He was a brainiac. I don't know how he didn't. Votes. Beth, Lindsay, Courtney, Beth, Lashana, Heather, Courtney, Justin, Courtney, Duncan, Beth, Harold, Courtney. And Courtney's eliminated. She was not well liked, and since she was not immune, they took their chance to vote her off. So, yep, there are no repeat winners. We're going to get completely new. There's no repeat finalists. We're going to get a new set. Important events. Duncan is trying to make nice with Justin and Harold's crew, so he would not be alone in the game. Beth is starting to get on everyone else's nerves except for Lindsay, but especially Justin. Challenge 11, the rock and roll movie. In this case, Duncan wins, because just look at him. Beth and Lindsay vote Justin, whereas Lashana, Heather, Justin, Duncan, and Harold vote for Beth. And Beth is now eliminated. She should not have been a finalist. And I know in the original script they intended for it to be Lindsay, but she couldn't go in to finish the lines. I understand. But Beth in the finale? Really? I have a finalist pairing that I think should have been the TDA finalist pairing, but why Beth? Anyway, she got in everyone's nerves, and they could not deal with her for much longer afterwards, so she got the boot. Important events. Justin is attempting to remove what he considers to be the biggest threat in the competition in the game, Duncan, by spreading a big fat lie that only Lindsay would fall for. Some of the rest is band together to get rid of Justin if he is not immune, but Lindsay stays loyal to Justin, so now she's also a target. Remember, Justin's been making nice to people, so people are less inclined. Challenge 11, the fairy tale movie where Justin wins it. So, Lindsay, Duncan, Lashana and Heather, Lindsay, Justin, Duncan and Harold, Lindsay, and Lindsay is eliminated. Justin said the lie, and since he could not be taken down this episode due to him winning immunity, the only ally he had was Lindsay, so they had to get her out so he would be left alone. Important events. Harold decides that he's going to sabotage Justin to make sure that he cannot get immunity. So he has to get voted off next time. Challenge 12, the sports movie, where Lashana ends up winning it. And the votes, Lashana, Heather, Justin, Harold, Duncan, Harold, Justin. And Justin, the main villain of the series, the main villain of this season, he should have been the main villain, is out. Reason, he messed up, and since Duncan was getting friendly with everyone when he said the lie, people were a lot less inclined to believe what he had to say. Also, Harold's sabotage plan worked, so he was eliminated. Important events. The four are now told the horrifying news that there will be no more awards for winners, but instead punishments for losers. In other words, there's no more votes. Because, no more votes, every challenge is based off performance. So no more winner logo, we're back to the loser logo. And challenge 13 was the animal movie. For context, Lashana got the shark, Heather got the Duncan got the raccoon, Harold got the bear, and Heather got the lizard. Reason, she couldn't tame her shark, so she ended up getting eliminated. Lashana's tough, but I don't think she can do that. Important events. The final being reduced down to what it is. They decide to have a little heart-to-heart and have a little bonding session. So, yeah. Friends now, I guess. I even wrote that in the slides right there. Challenge 14, the superhero movie. My personal favorite episode of action. It always has been and probably always will be my favorite episode. Anyways, Heather loses. And the reason being for that was that it's just a point. It was just a point challenge like it was last time. And Harold excelled in the creativity part, whereas Duncan in the obstacle course part, leaving Heather with not much able to do, and so she was eliminated given that she had the least amount of points. And finally is the finale that should have been in TDA from the start. Duncan versus Harold. Ladies and gentlemen, and the winner is Harold. Like, last time it was down to a vote, and some people were not fully able to forgive Duncan since he truly started getting forgiven so late. So Harold ended up getting the majority of the votes, making it so Harold ends up winning the season. And I'd like to say how each and every time I have Duncan lose, it was because of a popularity contest. So yeah, comment down below if you want to see World Tour, and if comments aren't on, just comment on the TDI video that TDI's comments aren't on, and I'll do my best to change it, and then I'll respond to you. But regardless, let me know if you want to see more, because if you do, I'll gladly make some more, and if you don't, I'll make the slides, but I won't record it on the internet. So, until next time, my name has been Blue Fang, and I must bid you all a good west positioning of the sun. Until then, goodbye.